Alright, this is the start of episode 8. And this is just going to be the hood repair. Because my hood's kind of flimsy. It's so rusty right here that it's really kind of bends around a lot. So I'd like to put it on there to set the front clip up, and I want to fix this anyway. You can see somebody's already been in here. So I want to cut this all out. Now I'm hoping this will put some strength back in my hood. Okay, here's the other side. Does look like I've got, this is the major repair. It's actually broke. This is, I think, what's causing it to be so flimsy. This is broke right here. This looks like it's going to be another learning experience for my fabrication. Then this is cracked right here too. Looks like this hood might be off a different truck, being blue under here. I don't know what the story is there. A little bit of repair there, maybe. But it should match my truck when I'm done, as long as I don't mess it up too much on the repair. So I'll try and catch some video of it here as I'm going. Of course, I might be in for some surprises when I start finding how far the other repair went. It looks like what caused the problem is they had rust there, which I see a lot of them rust there, and then they put Bondo in there, and then the water sits in there and causes rust. So get going on this. So while I'm working on the hood, I'm also going to start mocking up the front end here and try to start figuring some of this out simultaneously. I have in my head it'd be nice to not have to slide the radiator back, but I know from studying enough of these builds that's probably inevitable. But that's not a big deal. I guess you can get 2.5 inches sliding it back pretty easy, so we'll see. So I'm gonna start cutting the front end off. And if you're wondering, the noise you hear is Christmas lights. Kids are putting up Christmas lights. One cutoff wheel wore out. And I've got that piece on. But that's not really much of an accomplishment. That would have fit before I cut anything. Looks like I'm gonna have to slide the radiator back, but let's keep chipping at it. This is what I'm supposed to be working on. This needs to be moved back, and all those braces are loose. I need to fix that, get that done. I've been sitting here for probably about 4 months now. It's just not as fun as the truck. So executive decisions have been made. The power steering cooler, which comes through there and sits across just above the top of the frame rails, is going to be moved down to behind the bumper. The 2 lines that come in for the transmission cooler are going to be rerouted as not to interfere with anything. I don't know if I'm going to go down under the frame this way or loop back around this way, but they're going to be rerouted so they're not in the way. With that done, I was still about a 1/2 inch. I needed to move the radiator about a 1/2 inch back to just barely clear the grill. The stone guard is going to need to be modified, but I'm not so much worried about that. I just want the grill to fit. So obviously you want to go a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. You don't want to go just a 1/2 inch. So what I did is this bracket here. Now I got this idea from a YouTube channel called Dead Animal Garage, and I don't know, other people have probably done it, but that's where I saw it. And this sets on here like that. This is for your radiator hose. There's 4 spot welds that hold it on there. Drilled those out. I'm gonna flip this around. I'm gonna re-weld it. A couple things that does for you. First of all, it changes your front hole, which one's the front hole. So you can move it back this distance and reuse one of the existing studs. I think it's the outside one. Let me see here. Yes, the outside one. So the back hole, this one, becomes the front hole by flipping it. So you gain about 1 5/8 inches. Now that's more than I need, but stay with me. Something else that does is, I don't know if I can show this to you, but the angle, that pad that the radiator sets on, gives you a little bit different angle. So what that does is it tips the radiator back or up, so it's not leaned back so far. So what I did was, that's an 1 5/8 inches move down here. I made a 7/8 move up here. Now I've got this bolted down with 1/4 inch screws. Show you the other side, light's a little better. Right now with nuts, but I'm gonna put the original M8 self tappers back in there. I just drilled that hole for now and bolted it on there for fitting. So I made a 7/8 move here, 1 5/8 inches move down there. So at the end of the day, when because I've had it all together, my gap up here almost stayed the same. It's moved a little bit right now because I don't have that brace on there, but you don't really lose that much up top doing it that way. And I got where my clearance, the issue for my clearance was right in this area. I wound up getting about 7/8 of an inch. So I've got like a 1/2 inch of extra room there, roughly. So that's the long story of what I did for my radiator move. And I'll try to get another quick clip of it. Obviously I'm gonna weld this in. I'm going a little higher, so I was able to salvage a little bit of this, I believe. So this will be the start of my bumper mount. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna mount the front support, but we'll figure that out as we go. And now I have those filled in, just plated off. I don't know if you can see them, but I have the original self-tapping screws back in to hold the radiator on, and my lower mount's all back on. And the gap up here, I don't know, it's probably about 1 inch now. Now, I've got this piece setting on here. I noticed I've got a nice bend right here, so I'm going to have to try and straighten that out. I've got the truck moved up in the air 9 inches. It's so nice to have it sitting on the ground. You walk in the shop and it's sitting down there and it looks cool, but man, it's hard to work on it sitting down there. So I moved it back up. And now I'm just kind of test fitting this. What I think I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna use the Crown Vic inner wheel wells. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make my body mount for the core support. And I'm not going to locate it at this time because I'm not sure, but I'm also going to take a look at where the bumper goes. I think I'm going to put a plate down here and start my bumper, put a flat plate on here with some holes so I can make a small bumper bracket to go from here to the bumper. And go ahead and put this structure in, and then come back and use some of that for the body mount, sorry about that, in this area is what I'm kind of thinking. But I want to put the Crown Vic inner wheel wells and see how they play, because this area here should be open to do what I want. So that's the idea. That's where I'm at, just kind of playing with getting this roughly cut out. Not really setting anything 100% because don't have the hood on there yet. I'm still working on the hood. This is kind of more fun, so, but I want to work on the hood today. Today's Black Friday 2017, and it's gorgeous outside. So, and I kind of have the whole day to kind of play in the barn. So I think I might take advantage of that. So we're going to throw the hood on and go for a ride. Let's get in there. I got the bumper just kind of mocked up, and it looks like that plate that I was talking about on the side of the frame can be about 3 inches down. And it looks like I'm going to do my body mount right down there, and that should get it out of the way. I don't know for sure what I'm using and what I'm not using out of the I put the inner fender walls in out of the Vic, and I'm not positive what I'm going to use and what I'm going to be able to use, but that's what I'm thinking for now. But I was just kind of standing back and liking how this is looking. The truck, when I got it, the bumper was gone, and I traded for this bumper, and so that's the first time I've seen it with a bumper on there. Looking good. And I know this isn't the exact right bumper for this truck. I think this is an early 60s, like a 61, 62, I'm not sure. The mounting should be different for this one, but it looks like it's the same shape. So that'll give something for people to point out to me at the gas stations. Hey, that's the wrong bumper on there. So this is what I wound up with for my front core support mounts. This is the original bracket that was on the front of the Vic. This is a piece of 1/8 inch coming down. And then this is the 3-inch plate that I added to the bottom of the frame, and it goes back under. I won't be able to see, but it goes back under. Now, I've got about 2 inches of frame left, and I've got about a 3/4 inch gap to my stone guard. But if you're going a little bit lower like most do, like if this gap, if you bring this right down, set that tight, then you're not gonna have, you're not gonna be able to bring your frame out underneath the stone guard. But I'm sure that if you're doing a truck differently, you'll come up with a solution there. This is where my bumper brackets will mount. I did the, you weld I welded 4 plates together on the corners and drilled them all. And once I get my bumper up there, I'll make a little plate to go on the bumper and make some brackets and then tack that in. But this gets me this mounted for now, so that's done. My bumper's up in this area here. It won't be a very big bracket, but that way if I ever want to change anything or move the bumper, I can, rather than have it all welded. Or if I go to the correct bumper, won't be a big change. That's the power steering cooler mount here. That's the lower power steering cooler mount, and then there's a couple tapped holes in there to bolt it there, and the lines are just going to snake through right here. I still haven't figured out the lines on this side for the transmission cooler. And a side note, I really am not able to remove this bracket at this point because it comes back around. So if I did have to take that out, I don't know why I'd need to take it out, but if I ever had to take it out, I'm either gonna have to turn it into a 2-piece, or I could cut this open to this hole. This would still function fine as a bumper mount. Take it out that way. But I shouldn't need to take it out. And then this is the other side. So I'll just figure out what I need to mount the core support as I go, but that gives me something to mount to. And then I'm just reusing front mounts. I use these same style, the mounts for the front. I use those because they were thinner here on my back cab mount, but I just ordered some new ones, and then I'm using the front mounts up here also. I just put all new body mounts on the cab because I thought, well, I had it all loose, that was the time to do it. And that's about it. And I think I'm gonna call this good for episode 8. Just kind of put the chunks of the front clip mounting, however many episodes it takes. I know I started this episode with working on the hood, and other than forming a plan of attack, I really haven't done much with the hood. But I need to get to that now so I can bolt that on there and locate that core support exactly where I want it. Thanks for watching. Scrap Dart Metalworks is a channel. It's also the name of my Facebook page. I don't really have much of my truck stuff on there. Every now and then I do. Have a great day.